Now, you might think coming home from war is a relief, but for many veterans, it's also a loss of an intense camaraderie. WGBH's Stephanie Leyden shares the stories of two local veterans back from Afghanistan.
Mike Downing was a reluctant golfer. His wife encouraged him to play.
I think now she regrets it because I really enjoy it. And every chance I get, she's like, "You going golfing again?"
Getting out on the course has been a reason to get out of the house after he returned from Afghanistan.
Humvee, we were and got hit with a IED. And the truck got blown up, and so did we. I never lost consciousness, so I remember knowing what was going on. I was awake the whole time, and I remember looking down and thinking that, oh, well, this isn't good.
Mike lost both his legs. He spent 19 months in the hospital. When he finally got home to his wife and 4 kids in Middleborough, he'd been gone nearly 4 years.
It was tough just to readjust to being home. So that was probably even tougher for my family, having me around, especially not too far out from being wounded.
But adjusting to a new physical reality is only part of the challenge. Like anyone back from combat, he has also had to make a mental switch from soldier to civilian.
Because when you come home, I don't care what you've done, you're going to change somewhat with the things you've seen and done. Well, you can see there's a hump.
Yeah.
Which has a lot to do with why Mike enjoys golf. He plays with fellow veterans as part of a program called the Salute Military Golf Association.
The camaraderie is big, because you don't get that in the civilian world. Everybody's out for themselves for the most part. And the military always look out for each other. And that's kind of continues.
There you go.
In some ways, it's more difficult than ever for veterans to connect. After World War II, service members came home to friends and neighbors who had all experienced war. 12 million people served. In the years since 9/11, that number has dropped to 2.5 million. The burden of modern-day warfare is on the shoulders of less than 1% of the population. Few people understand what it means to be a soldier. Felicia Pinckney joined the Army right after high school because she wanted money for college. 18 years later, she remains in the military. She has a master's degree, but her real education has come with wearing a uniform, rising to the rank of Sargent First Class, and serving in Afghanistan.
This idea of having a family that you would do anything for is something I think that only a mother really knows. This sort of intense, deep care for another individual and another group of folks that just become this immense part of you.
She was part of a finance battalion required to travel in a war zone without any front lines.
You're just always holding your breath until your soldier gets back.
Of course, not everyone comes back. 148 Massachusetts service members have died in Iraq and Afghanistan. Their sacrifice, says Mike Downing, puts his own in perspective.
The way I look at it, I'm fortunate to be alive, but since I've been wounded, I have done so many more things and met so many more people that I wouldn't change anything.
A calling that unites and connects one generation of soldiers to the next.
These individuals were willing to do it, and they were willing to put on the uniform, and they were willing to do their jobs, and they were willing to go into harm's way, and they're willing to go all the way for our country. And it's very important to me that we honor them and that we remember them.
Part of the military family, part of the country's history. Stephanie Leyden, WGBH News.